In the repair shop today,
this leg has to somehow balance up in the air.
a solid stone sculpture puts Kirsten in a sticky situation.
It's really going to be a test of the strength of the adhesive that I use, that it stays in place.
When I bend these edges up, it's a bit like origami.
While Brenton and Susie puzzle over a very special bracelet.
So this sort of work I have done, but many, many years ago. I'm really having to dig around in the old brain box to remind myself.
First at the barn, Nina and Santinder Maan, with a crumbling keepsake of their early life in Berkshire, which is in need of Dominic Chinea's signwriting expertise.
Hello.
Hello. You okay?
Very well, thank you.
This is a beautiful sign. Tell me all about it.
It was my mother's shop and the sign was there. It goes back to our roots, our heritage.
It's where we started.
The corner shop.
Oh,
It was our livelihood, but it was also our home.
but you lived above.
We lived above the shop.
So when we moved there, I think Santinder was 9 and I was about 17 and a half.
What was your mother's name?
Prakash. And
Brilliant mum.
Very
Brilliant
good.
mum.
She gave us a good life.
How long did your mum have the shop for?
About 27 years.
27
Yeah,
years.
so it was a long time.
It's a lifetime.
That's a big part of her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were expected to do our bit.
Yeah.
So I remember as a young child, I would actually put the sweets out actually on the shelves. Jelly teddy bears, penny bottles, rhubarb and custard.
Oh, the proper pick and mix. Take the
Yes.
bag and the scoop.
Yeah, we had an abundance of sweets, and I'm surprised I have any teeth left. She was very proud of the shop
Yeah,
because
she
it
was.
was what she built up.
Yeah.
And our front door was open to anybody, so I'd never know who would be in our back parlour. There'd be people having tea, biscuits.
What, customers from the shop would come in for a
Yeah, a cup of tea.
pint of milk and then stop and go into the living room for a cup of tea?
Because some of them had become her friends
Friends,
because
yeah.
she'd been there a long time. Yeah.
She'd be like serving tea, serving customers, doing a bit of knitting,
Looking after you two.
yeah, looking after us, yeah.
3 generations went through that shop. She brought up her grandchildren in the shop and her nephew.
God, so it was more than just a shop for your mum
Yes.
then.
Yeah, it was a little general store.
Yeah.
And it had,
Everything, really.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces of everything.
So after all, so many happy years, what happened?
the supermarkets were taking over, there was no room for the corner shop really.
It was time to move on, which was very hard for our mother to accept. And when we moved out in 1998, this was left there. So it was rescued by our brother.
So really, this is all you've got left of the shop?
Yes, that's all. So,
Oh, goodness. OK. I could see why it means so much to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your mum know that you've still got the sign?
sadly, she passed away, but she did know that we had the sign.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. But, you know, it's got fond memories of her attached to it. And we'd like to restore it and keep it in the house.
It is in a quite
Yes,
bad
yeah.
condition, isn't it? That paint is literally peeling off. It would be a shame to make it look brand new, though.
No.
No.
We wouldn't
As
want that.
authentic as you possibly can.
Good.
Yeah.
It'd be beautiful if we could see the words Bourne Hill General Stores.
Yes.
That would be lovely.
Yes, that would be really nice. Yeah.
I'll do the best I can.
We really appreciate that. We
Good.
really appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate that.
It's been lovely to meet you both.
Lovely to meet you too, Dom. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I absolutely adore this sign. The way this lettering has aged is just beautiful, and that's what gives it its charm. It's got a huge amount of history, and I think it would only be fair to leave a lot of that character in place. So I definitely won't be repainting this whole thing, but I do need to stabilise it. This is actually a sheet of plywood. Plywood is lots of layers of very thin sheets of wood, but holding all those layers together is a glue, and unfortunately that glue over time has deteriorated. We're now just left with a stack of loose layers of pieces of wood with a very fragile layer of paint stuck on top. So I'm going to try my best to get these pieces of wood stuck back together and remake a piece of plywood. The first thing I really need to do is give this top layer of paint a really good clean.
Mark Whitmore has arrived at the barn from Leicestershire with hopes that Susie Fletcher can conserve a symbol of a life well lived.
Hello.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. You've got something for us,
I
haven't you?
have indeed, yes. It's a little tie-on braid bracelet
Okay.
that's seen better days.
Yeah, it's broken, isn't it?
It's basically deteriorated, so it can't be tied.
Wow.
It belonged to my son, who was sadly killed in a motorcycle accident.
Wow.
He didn't normally ride his motorbike to work, he usually drove, because he loved cars and bikes and all sorts of things like that.
Yeah.
And I think on one particular sunny summer's day,
Yeah.
he decided to take his bike and was involved in a road traffic accident. So,
What was your son's name?
Michael.
And how old was he?
28. Yeah,
Really young then.
yeah. From that point on, my wife, his mother, Sue, wore it. There weren't many personal items that Michael wore all of the time. You know, he liked his watches, and I've got his watch on today. I always wear his watch.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And Sue gravitated to that little bracelet. You know, it's just symbolic of him.
Do you know where Michael bought this?
Where it came from, we're not certain. He lived in Australia for a year, had a fantastic time. He was wearing it then, so it's seen some action. His philosophy of his life, he was definitely a go-getter, so he did more in his 28 years than I think some people do in a lifetime, which is fabulous for us because we know he did achieve a lot.
Yeah.
He became a best mate. He was a good lad and his fantastic collection of friends, and those friends are now our friends. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's been a massive support for us over the time.
So this bracelet's very important to your wife, Sue?
Yes.
And she knows you brought it in today?
She does, yes.
Okay. Would she want it to be exactly the same? Like once you tie it on, that's it, it can't come off, or...?
I think, no, she couldn't take it off, so she had to sleep in it, she had to shower in it. You know, so she felt that if it was at all possible for her to have it strengthened and made to be able to take off and put on, you know, she's missing it, I think it's fair to say.
Yes, yeah. I could never imagine losing my son at the age of 28, and then you're standing here wanting to get this repaired for your wife. You're a strong man.
You know, I've lost my son. I can't show it in many other ways other than take something like this and try and breathe some new life into it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a link back to our son.
Thank you for bringing this in.
Thank you.
And please let your wife know it's in safe hands.
I will do, yeah.
All right?
Okay.
And we'll see you soon.
Okay, take care.
You take
Thank
care.
you.
This bracelet is made out of a cord of some kind that has begun to fray quite badly around the beads. The key is to repair this in a way that I keep it as intact as possible. It's got years of use to it, and this sort of dusty look on it is just all the debris that is picked up during those years. All of that debris is keeping all those fibres glued together. So I'm afraid if I clean it, we will lose all of that substance holding those fibres that are really quite delicate in place. The ends where it's broken could benefit from a metal clasp of some kind. That way Sue will be able to put it on and take it off at night, which would help to give it a much longer life. So I'm going to ask Brenton if perhaps he'll be able to fabricate some kind of clasp. In the meantime, I'm going to sew around these beads, sort of in a figure eight effect, just to make them much more secure and supported. So this sort of work is stuff that I have done in the past, many, many years ago. I've done a lot of macrame, and I've done decorative knot work, if you like. I used to make these bracelets when I was traveling. I was hanging out with some people and I was shown bracelet making. But it's been such a long time since I've done it. I'm really having to dig around in the old brain box to remind myself. But it'll be worth it.
Dom's also been exercising the grey matter, working out how to glue the shop sign's frail plywood sheets back together. He's hoping a medical approach may offer a cure.
I need to get glue all the way in. The only way I could really do that successfully is injecting it. So I've got this syringe here. So with that nice long end on it, I can actually find a little opening, push that right inside. I can put glue all the way in there. That's perfect. This is a special slow setting glue, so I have got plenty of time to sit here and work my way along the whole sign, making sure I've got glue in every little nook and cranny. That is completely saturated with wood glue now, which is brilliant. Every little bit I look in, it's completely full. Just need to stick a sheet of plastic over the top, a heavy board, and then a load of weights to clamp it down. The pressure, squishing all the sheets, will squeeze the glue in there, press it together. Once the glue goes off, we'll be left with a nice solid board again. Hopefully that glue has had time to dry. Oh. Oh, good, okay. Look at that. It's a piece of wood again. That is so good. I'm so pleased. That's worked really, really well. Now I've got a nice solid base. The next step is to spray a layer of clear paint over the whole thing, and that is going to help to sort of seal it all in, and then I can work on top of that. This pale blue that I'm painting over is a primer. It's white primer usually, but I've tinted it this sort of baby blue colour just to give me a bit of a backing that's not brilliant white. It's the first layer of many. Eventually the top layer will be putting the lettering back on place. I'm finally at the point where I can actually start filling in the white lettering. I think I am guilty of being a little bit of a nerd for old sign writing. Getting to work on it so closely and spending so much time with it, you realise there is an awful lot of the artist's hand in here. This S, you can see it's a really lovely sweeping curve. You can actually see the brush strokes in the paint. Whoever painted this originally was a very talented person. Just going to work my way along, just fill in all of these small losses where there's little chunks missing. Usually you'd start from the left and work your way across so you don't smudge it with your hand. I'm just warming up. I'm just going to start with an easy one before I get round to these O's and S's and the tricky, complicated curves. So, go for the H next. This really is quite a critical part where I could go too far. So I'm trying to keep a fine balance to keep as much of the original as I possibly can. All that history is here in the sign, and I don't want to paint over all of that. So yes, it is going to look a bit scruffy when it's finished, but I love that, and I think Nina and Santinder will appreciate it.
Arriving next, Chris Fay and his father-in-law, Nick Arnold. Chris is looking to Kirst and Ramsey's ceramic skills to relieve him of a guilty burden.
Hello.
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 Hi there. What have you brought?
We've brought the dancing bear.
Oh.
Take some of it out.
Gosh, that looks heavy.
It is pretty heavy.
Extremely heavy. This is a serpentine bear when we were in Vancouver on a trip. My wife spotted what was quite a spectacular dancing bear. It seemed to have a personality of its own, and we thought, well, it's our 25th wedding anniversary coming up. All right, we'll buy it.
Oh, that's lovely.
And then we had it in the kitchen on a bookcase for several years, and now we don't.
Into me.
Oh, right.
It was my first Christmas with, my now in-laws. I was helpfully setting the table, and quite simply, as I rounded a corner, my bottom hit the shelf that this was on, and I can't even tell you how slow it felt. This bear is falling to the ground. There was a very loud clunk,
Yeah.
and fell into these pieces here.
Dear.
My wife ran in, and she sort of had this face of, oh God.
Oh dear.
Trish, my wife, came upstairs and let me know that there had been an incident, and
Right.
it's been in a box for the last 3 or 4 years.
I think bringing it here is really about my redemption, in a way.
Right. Goodness.
And getting me back into your good books.
That feeling of trying to do your best on your first Christmas.
Trying to make a good impression at the
Yes.
same time.
Yes. Oh dear.
Certainly was an impression. We've had a lot of pleasure out of it, haven't we, since?
It's featured in your Father of the Bride speech.
Oh, really?
Yep. Suitably embarrassed in front of 120 people. There's a WhatsApp group called #NeverForget, which a lot of the family are involved in, and they send pictures of statues of bears or anything that reminds them of this statue, just
Dear.
so that I never forget.
If I'm able to put this back together again, this presumably will be a lovely reminder of that trip and the wedding anniversary.
Indeed. And it will also remind us of an interesting journey in life for Chris as he made his way into our family. I think Chris will be extremely relieved to have it in one piece.
Yeah.
I think it may well be quite a challenge, but it's one that I'm really looking forward to, and I'll do the best that I can.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I can completely see why Nick and his wife fell in love with this bear in Canada. It's made of a stone called serpentine. Now, I've never actually bonded serpentine before. I've carved it many years ago, and it's a really lovely stone to work with carving. It feels absolutely magical. It's smooth, it's soft, it's really gorgeous, but it bruises quite easily. So there's quite a few challenges involved in this bear. It's incredibly heavy. The most heavy section, which is this leg, has to somehow balance up in the air, and I need to find an adhesive that is going to be strong enough to actually hold this without coming away. My plan is to clean all of these surfaces. I'm then going to bond them together, polish, and then hopefully he'll be dancing again.
Yeah, get the chisel on it.
Susie's painstaking work on the bracelet is restoring much-needed strength to its central section. She's counting on silversmith Brenton West's ingenuity to help with the next stage.
Oh, that's perfect timing.
Why, what have I done?
Well, so I've got this lovely bracelet that is made from cord, but as you can see, at the ends, it's broken.
I could imagine making a silver sort of sleeve that goes over that with a ring in it that could have a clasp on both ends.
Sounds perfect.
OK.
Lovely.
Thank
you, Bea.
OK. So I've got sterling silver here, about 0.4 of a millimetre thick. I'm making a small silver box to go onto the end of the bracelet, and I've got my special visor on to help me mark the lines accurately before I saw this out. I now need to file about halfway through their thickness so that when I bend these edges up, so then folds up like a box. And it's a bit like origami. Marvellous. Right, so I'm now going to solder that up.
I'm now making an extension of the macrame design. If all goes well, Brenton will attach the silver clasp to that extension. In macrame, there's lots and lots of different knots that create all sorts of different designs. I've got 2 long threads, and I'm bringing the left thread over to the right, and then with the right thread, I'm coming under, and then you just gently pull them up, and it creates this really lovely effect. Then the next knot will be done the reverse. Sort of creates like a bow, and then pull the threads up nice and gently, and there we go. It looks really nice. So now I've got that macrame done, I can work on attaching this extension to the bracelet. I'm going to whip it in position, and that is a term that we use when you're binding a piece of leather onto something, and you whip it on by wrapping the thread around the item. But it has to be tight enough so that it really bonds onto the bracelet. I can't have this coming undone as Sue is going to be wearing it. I can trim off all these threads. It's actually looking really, really nice. Very happy with that. I can take this over to Brenton now and he can fix the catch to it.
Dom has finished the paintwork on the corner shop sign, leaving just one final flourish.
I've made this little frame to hide the sort of raggedy edges, and actually, when the sign was in situ in the front of the shop, it would have been in a frame very similar to this, so it's quite fitting. I need to put the support braces in. That's going to hold the sign nice and tight against the frame. Okay, that sign is not getting out of there. Let's have a look. It's exactly what I was hoping for. That just sets it off perfectly. I would happily hang that in my living room.
Though this sign was disintegrating, it was a powerful reminder of happy times with their mother, for sisters Nina and Santinder.
Ah,
Hello.
Nina, Santinder, hi.
Hello, Dom.
It's so nice to see you both again.
Lovely to see you.
Good, good.
We're dying to see what's underneath.
Oh, very exciting. Have been thinking about it quite a lot.
It has been a labour of love.
Oh, thank you, because that's what it means to us
Yeah.
too.
Do you want to see it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, you've kept it really authentic.
That's lovely. That is so lovely. I can just imagine this on the front. I'm speechless now. I can't say anything else. Thank you very much. I really appreciate what you've done for us.
Yeah.
You're so welcome.
Because it's about us growing up, our values. So very fond memories. So
Yeah.
you've given us something really nice to
Very
have back.
special.
Yeah.
What do you think Mum would say now?
She'd love it.
She'd love it.
Absolutely love it.
You've really done us proud. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Lovely memories. Lovely, lovely memories.
Well, let me get it for you, if you won't mind getting the door.
Thank you, Dom.
We'll take it outside.
The shop sign has made me think about what Mum instilled in us. Yeah, really quite emotional.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
We've got some very lovely memories of our family and our mother, but the sign will hold a special place in those memories. That's why we wanted to have it restored and keep it, so we can keep the memory going.
Our growing up in a corner shop.
Kirsten has given the broken dancing bear a thorough clean and is preparing to glue him back together.
I'm just applying a very thin coat of a consolidant to the break edges, thereby sealing them, because the serpentine is slightly porous and I don't want the adhesive that I'm using to seep into the stone and possibly stain it. And also, by making a seal on both sides, it makes the join much stronger. I'm confident that I've got a really good seal. So I'm now ready for bonding these little pieces back. I'm going to use a 2-part epoxy resin, which is used in conservation. I'm using the adhesive once it's started to tack up and gel, so it does have quite a sticky quality when I put the two pieces together. and it should give a strong bond. This is the last limb. I've managed to get quite a lot of the original pieces back, but this area here was missing. So I'm going to fill that using a colour fill technique, which will mimic this beautiful serpentine really well. I've got an epoxy resin and I've added to it some of my pigments. My plan is to blend 3 different colours together, a little bit like making a marble cake, where you don't mix it thoroughly, you just swirl them a little bit, and that recreates that marbled, mottled effect. I love the material. I think serpentine is a lovely thing to work on, but I'm also doing what I absolutely love, and that is colour matching and playing around with pigments. And this is a really lovely material to try and match. It still gives me a huge amount of pleasure and satisfaction when something like this just starts to blend in and disappear. And I'm always still quite surprised. I'm now going to put the final leg on. It's the most heavy of the 3 legs, and also it's at the most acute angle. It's really going to be a test of the strength of the adhesive that I use, that it stays in place. That feels really secure and nicely aligned, so I'm just going to pop some tape on that. I really want this to look 100%. I'm going to let that adhesive cure, and then I've got a couple of little bits to fill. I'm really looking forward to getting this strong enough that I can write it and see how it looks when it's not broken.
Outside, Susie's handiwork extending the worn-out bracelet has an admirer in Brenton.
I didn't think Susie would be able to attach an extension on here and keep that knot, and this just looks fantastic. No idea how she did it, it's just amazing, but it makes my life a lot easier because I've got now something to attach my silver ends to. So I'm going to glue these on with epoxy resin. Okay, so that's now in there. Let's just put a ring on there. One completed bracelet. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a polish and then give it back to Susie.
Hello.
You look like you're waiting for me.
Well, yeah.
Yes, we are. How's that?
That looks incredible.
Good. What you've done is amazing on here, so
Oh,
I think together it looks really nice.
wow.
There you go.
Nice
Okay.
one. All right.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much. That's very good.
Just like its owner, Michael, the bracelet had lived life to the full. But 5 years on from his death, it was fragile and broken. Now Michael's parents, Mark and Sue, are hoping Sue can once again wear this most precious of links to her son.
Hello.
Hello there.
Lovely to see you again, Mark.
Lovely to see you. This is Sue, my wife, and Michael's mum.
Lovely to meet you.
Hello, Susie.
Yeah.
It's quite a big day, really.
It is.
From what I understand, you've been wearing this for quite a long time,
Yeah.
Sue. Is that right?
About 5 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Goodness.
But I've got to be honest, I never thought I'd get to wear it again because it was so broken. I thought,
That was it.
yeah.
So it is very, very important. So very excited to see what you've been able to do.
You want to see it?
Oh, I think so, yes.
Susie?
Wow. Take a look.
That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect.
Fantastic.
You've kept the flavour of the bracelet, which I wanted.
And made it so that it actually
Yeah,
can be worn.
yeah. I'm going to pick it up.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's lovely. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I'll be able to wear that again.
Which hand was it on? It was on that one.
That's it. You got it, Father.
There you go. Look at that. It feels stronger,
Yes.
which it needed to be, didn't it?
Yes. It's back where it needs to be.
Yeah,
Yeah. Back where it belongs.
thank
isn't it?
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Indeed, thank you.
Well, to the both of you, thank you for bringing it in.
Thank you very much for taking it on as a
Taking
project.
it on, yes.
No, it was my pleasure.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just having the bracelet back on my wrist again makes me feel a little bit more comforted that he's with me. He's with me.
Yes, it's that connection back with our son that's it's great to have it back, and lovely to see Sue wearing it once again.
Kirsten has restored the pieces of the dancing bear to one magnificent whole. Whether he's now strong enough to strike a pose upright remains to be seen.
It's been such a joy to work on this bear. I absolutely love him. So this moment where he gets to stand up and I'm hoping dance again is the moment that I've been looking forward to. I have to really trust in the work that I've done, that it's going to all stay in place. And there he is, dancing again. Absolutely beautiful.
The bear's dancing days seem to be over after an embarrassing mishap.
Oh, be careful now.
How does that look?
It looks absolutely gorgeous. You've done a good job there.
Thank you.
Doesn't it want to make you dance? You want to have a little dance? You sure?
Don't tempt me, Jay.
Come on.
Now Chris has returned with father-in-law Nick and high hopes of putting the calamitous incident behind him.
Hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
Hello.
Very good, thank you.
Hi.
So how you both feeling?
I'm excited.
You should be.
This is redemption.
So if it is fixed, can't take the mickey no more, can we?
I'm sure we'll find something.
Oh, you must be looking forward to seeing it.
The anticipation is very high.
Is it? Okay. Well, I'll show you.
Wow.
Look at that.
Gosh.
Amazing.
That is truly amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
I'm just looking for little chips, which I just can't see.
There aren't.
That's just terrific.
You've done an absolutely incredible job.
Thank you.
That is utterly brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah.
It really is dancing.
I see you looking at Chris as he touched it there.
I think the history's erased now and the incident never happened.
Well, don't push it.
Don't push it.
Thank you. We
Thank
appreciate it enormously.
You're very welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure, but it's quite vulnerable and it's making me nervous just seeing it on there. I wonder where you're going to put it, where it will be safe.
We've actually found a corner for it.
Okay.
On a very big table with a carpet below.
Right.
Out of reach of Chris.
So it's time now to get this dancing bear home. Who's going to take it?
That'll be me.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, you trust him?
I don't trust myself.
Go careful.
Give it a go.
If you hold it into your body, lovely. Yeah.
Thank you.
You take care now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bless him.
I'm sad to see the bear go, but there's a sense of I'm glad that's someone else's responsibility now. Yeah.
I think Kirsten's done an extraordinary piece of work. I think it's more than we expected. I mean, it looks absolutely glorious. I think almost better than when we bought it.
I'm feeling really happy that the bear is now in one piece again. I don't think the family jokes will stop at this point, but I think certainly some redemption, particularly from Nick, will be coming my way.